That's it there. That's fine?
Right.
Okay. Right, where were we up to with it? I know we're sort of going to do it on the...
Some on the fly, and you were probably up to about number 7, were you, or something like that?
The 10, you did question 10, then you threw in.
Yeah, we did 10. And then I said I was going to throw some stuff at you. Right. Do you think if they have made contact, would they let us know? I think I asked that one.
I think you asked that downstairs.
No, because I said...
I think you asked that downstairs.
I said, do you think it's happened before? Do you think there's more incidents?
No, I think that was downstairs. I think that was downstairs when I said...
That's right, no, you're right, okay.
That's when I said, I think they're just starting to make contact.
Yeah.
And maybe Jackhead is part of that. And that's a good thing to say, isn't it?
Throw it out then.
Go on then. Is it on? Are we on? Okie doke. Another question that we had was, do you think if they'd made contact, would the authorities, so depending on where you are in the world, that might be your government or your leader, would they let us know?
If the other life forms have made contact previously or recently, or...
Whether, well, yes, both. So do you think they may have made contact previously, and if they were to make contact, say tomorrow, do you think they'd let us know?
I think, in particular, regarding the Jackhead, Winnipeg incident, I think they're making things pretty clear, actually.
And do you, so from that we can take that if they had been in touch in the past, we probably wouldn't know.
Well, there's certain documents. Throughout history, hasn't with, you know, we see books with hieroglyphics in them and pictures of pyramids and such like, but we recently have our very own pyramid, don't we? One that no one needs to ask whether man put that one there. So I do believe, yes, they would let us know, and I think they recently have.
The breeze has taken all the leaves and swept away the summer. But when I am away, it's one day sooner.
Can you? I know you explained off camera before about the everybody uses the term the wow factor, but what was that relating to? Can you remember?
Regarding the look of the photograph or the details behind it? Or?
It was more aimed at, was it a radio telescope?
Oh, this was based in the 70s, where they had a radio telescope and they were listening out for signals.
Right.
And one evening one of the operators received some signals like he had never seen before. These radio telescopes were reaching out deep into space, and normally they would have normal set patterns which were basically just noise, because the atmosphere is sound vibrations of noise, and it's not sort of predictable, but it's pretty much on the same level.
So is it fair to say?
So if you see, for example, if you know, with today's technology, if you see a music track on your computer and you see the WAV form, you know. techniques and scales.
Yeah.
Now, these radio telescopes were basically seeing that kind of pattern. Well, one evening they saw something that had never been seen before, and the operator wrote on that printout, the data sheet, he wrote, "Wow," because it was something they had never seen before, and it's something they've never seen since.
What reasons do you think maybe that we, you know, what would somebody have to gain by not letting us all know about it? Why do you think it would cause a mass panic, or do you think it's more that maybe it would open people's minds too much to realise that maybe there's more to life?
All my life I've been searching. You've been hurting me so long. A little love goes a long way. Have I been searching for too long? You took away all my dignity. I'm glad you left me with my pride.
Life and living maybe in the way the system. I'm not so much want you to, but you know the way the system works, the monetary system with the banks, and every country is run on a monetary system.
Yeah.
If you were to think a little bit too far out of that box and take a dislike into that system and try to live alternatively, do you think being told that there's other things out there could have that effect? Or
Well, I don't think it's any person's right to decide whether we are capable of knowing the truth, or whether we would go into a mass panic. I don't believe it's a system's right to deny us of what they know or uncover it up. To assume that we are all stupid and would just all behave in the same way by seeing such things like that. I don't believe it's their right to decide whether that's what they think we would think about that exposure. So I think they should reveal more and let us decide.
It's like they're not trying to say. No, what's the words? They're trying to say they don't exist. That's what they're trying to put across to us.
Very much so, yeah.
But we know they do exist, because
there's quite a lot of evidence to suggest that there are.
Think of sci-fi movies.
Regarding this new incident in Canada, this is new ground. There is, although it looks lighter than anything you would have ever seen in Egypt, it's a lot heavier than anything we have ever seen before. Quite a lot of evidence that there are things going on. And I'm sorry, what was your other question?
Well, it was like, you've got to think about where's all these imaginations coming from of aliens, like sci-fi.
Everybody seems to pick the
Do you know, that is a very good question, and something I've pondered over for a very long time, for years and years and years. Because when you watch a sci-fi movie or a sci-fi comic, you see very much similar kinds of images. Where did those come from in the first place? Do you know? That's a $1 million question, isn't it?
But no one can answer it.
Why doesn't an alien have 4 legs instead of 2 legs and 2 arms?
Yes. And why does it have to be a certain height or a certain colour? Why does it even have to be visible?
Why is the head shaped the shape of this? We all know what an alien is.
I don't know, because look at Star Trek. Look at all the different species on Star Trek. I know it's
not. Didn't that sort of go against the grain of all the normal, normal alien?
I suppose they were trying to
change people's views.
They were trying to alter the cliche.
Yeah.
and come up with something different from. I mean, if you say the word alien to a lot of people, they're going to think grey, aren't they? That's one of the first things they're going to come to, the grey.
The eyes like yours.
A little bit like mine, but when I take these off, they're blue. So. And then there's people who say there's over 80 different species of aliens. Now, that's quite a bold statement. When actually, not even one species has actually been proved to exist. But something's out there.
Do you think then that maybe, if we look at it, or try to look at it from a logical point, if you think, in this world right now, there's so many things happening with the current sort of situation of unrest in certain parts of the world, and there's certain things that happen every day that we would never ever hear about because for our own probably safety and to stop there being mass hysteria, governments do what we would expect them to do, and that is to protect us. And you know, we would. I think anybody, it doesn't matter what country you're from, if somebody poses you a threat.
There's protection and there's hiding.
There is, but what I'm saying is every day there's certain threats made against certain countries, and the citizens of the countries will never find out because we, as people, expect the governments to protect us.
We're talking about defence here, aren't we?
Defence-wise, yeah. So
on a world peace.
On a world peace kind of level.
Defence.
Yeah. So we expect, as citizens of our country, we expect that our government is looking out for our needs and our
best
safety,
intentions.
best interests. They're looking out for. Now, if now it may seem on a lot of these videos that we're kind of bashing the system and saying that they're wrong, they should tell us. But just to
yes, but those videos aren't actually saying that, are they? They're showing what we have seen and the research we've done, and the bashing seems to be coming from the other side rather than from us to them. Would you agree with that?
I'd agree with that. Do you think then, on if we kind of spoke in a defence way, where we expect the citizens?
So if there was a real reason why there is something they need to keep, that they don't want to go worldwide because there's something deeper to it that's could cause unrest because it's nothing to do with aliens, it's to do with world peace.
Maybe it's
my question.
If that is the reason, they're quite within the rights to. They can't come round and tell all of us secretly, one at a time, this is why we did that. Because if they announced it to all of us, the people that they're trying to defend us from would also hear it, and they go. It's like a game of chess. You don't want to know what the other player's they don't want the other player to know what their next move is.
My question is.
You see what I'm saying with that one?
Yeah. My question is right. They see this alien thing as a threat, but they're sat in their offices or whatever.
Which it could be. It depends what kind of nature these beings are. They could be peaceful.
They're sat in their labs with their telescopic things, and they're sending signals out, wanting feedback. And when they do get a spike, it's, oh my god, what's that? You know, threat. It's all of a sudden instinct threat. The panic. But they're asking.
Maybe that's human nature. I mean, I think
they're asking.
But we as people expect them to think it's a threat because we see films that tell us if they get feedback, it's a threat.
Since the early 50s, you know, up to like the 80s, 90s, Mars attacks. We've seen video after video of aliens, Martians coming here and attacking us. You know.
Why can't they go? Wow, we've just got a spike in it. You know.
Yes, like, what a beautiful moment. Yeah. We've made contact.
Well, the thing is, maybe. Yeah, but maybe they do rejoice when they get that. But
and
it
then
seems
want to cover everybody's back.
But maybe there's another side to it. Maybe if they did go global with it, and you know, you're always going to have groups that disagree and
Exactly,
agree.
it's like everything in the world.
What if the whole side of the, you know, the people that are into the UFOs and the believers,
Yeah.
what if all of a sudden all the governments turned around and said, or one world government turned around and said, wow, we've made contact, we think it's another life form. What if 12 months later it was found that they got that wrong and it was actually a satellite that was going over at the time? How silly would that government look? Maybe that's another reason.
You pose a very good question there, and you've just made me think about something that I've never thought about before, actually.
Because
and it goes back to the space race. Actually,
what country wants to adapt?
Mankind, as a whole, are quite competitive.
Absolutely.
And certain countries wanted to be the first to get to the moon. And the first one that got there would feel victorious. So perhaps there would be envy if one particular country was the first country to be in touch with aliens. You've just posed that question to me, and I have never thought of it that way.
It would be seen as an almost scientific.
And perhaps another country would say, well, how did they manage to contact? What technology have they got? Are they better than us? What do they know? Are they going to use that technology to attack us, or
cause world unrest?
Completely.
I mean, obviously we don't know what you know. I'm sure there's a lot of things that go on in this world. The normal person on the street will never ever know, and I'm sure, you know, you're going to get people from these organisations maybe hearing these comments, and they're probably sitting there thinking, if you knew what was going on in this world, you would disbelieve it, and it would probably shock you. So, and I'm sure that is absolutely correct. I'm sure there is many things in this world that we are probably better off never knowing.
Well, yeah, that depends on
through
the type
choice.
Yes, but see, the powers that be, the ones in control, assume that we are the general public, and they assume we are generally stupid. But there are people like us interested in this kind of thing, with the kind of intelligence that could deal with whatever they've got to show us and reveal to us, because it would make sense to us and we would not fear it, we would embrace it. But that's not to say the average, which is a horrible word really, but your average sort of hard-working family with children just trying to have a decent life would be able to comprehend the information that was offered to them. I mean, you know, I don't want to belittle the public as a whole, but if you look at the stats now, the amount of people who can't do simple maths or even read and write these days so if you start offering them science and knowledge and otherworldly things, can they deal with it? So in a way, the powers that be, are they looking after their interests? I don't know. Not everybody can handle what is out there. People like ourselves and people that are watching this video are more than capable of handling what we are speaking about, but not everybody is.
Now, can you just for a moment imagine now, you walked into the living room and the news report was on, and the newsreader was saying that they've suddenly made contact, and they've now got video footage of extraterrestrials. Imagine how surreal that would be. Now imagine if you'd never ever shown an interest in it.
Very, very good.
Imagine how someone would feel. It's all
that's a very good question to someone who has a great deal of interest in it. You just posed a very good question, and I've been waiting for this for so long, and I think we've recently have it. I want to make that clear for the camera. I think we've recently have it.
would the general public, would say...
But even me, who wants this contact, once I saw it right on the TV there, would I have some doubts and fears about what I'm just about to see?
Could you imagine though, say your grandparents suddenly flicking over the 5 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, and it came up. Now I imagine,
I'm not quite sure they would deal with it in the same way
exactly
that we would. They're from a different era.
I would have a rush of excitement but an anxious at the back of my mind.
Yes, even... and I think, and this is for the camera as well, even you people out there, I think even though you want this to happen, there would be a slight apprehension when we finally see it, because we don't know what these people are going to do once they come here. And I don't think you would be human to not have those feelings of rejoice and embrace and a slight concern about what's going to happen next.
I can't remember where I saw this, but I seen a link about, I think they're sending about 10 people to another planet.
This was the Mars thing. Can we talk about this Mars thing? And for the camera, can we talk about this Mars thing for a moment? Because I find this, it was 100 people.
Was it 100?
Yeah, and they invited lots of people to...
Well, they won't come back, will they? They were sending them up.
Well, it's
they all know they're not coming back.
Well, yeah, that's if they ever got there. So I'm going to speak to about that in detail now, because the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. So they invited people to apply to be one of the 100 that goes to Mars. And they got people of the ages from say 20 to 50 or whatever, and they chose 100. And this is for the camera. The real truth is, not one of those are going to Mars, because no craft is going to Mars in their lifetime, my lifetime, or even their children's lifetime. We haven't got the technology to take them there. What a silly proposition they put before them. Do you think in 2 years' time they're finally going to have a craft to take 100 people to Mars? We've only ever been to the moon once, and that's and that's nowhere near as far as Mars. We don't understand enough about Mars. We can't even get the Mars rover to work properly on its atmosphere yet. How can we put on? We can't get to Mars. Why tell these 100 people, yes, you're the winner, you're going to Mars? They're not going to Mars.
This could be another thing.
It's silly.
Secret.
If this is my opinion, I would like to ask your opinions about this. It's silly. And it wasn't even, okay, there was some part science in it, but wasn't it something to do with some kind of media company in Holland or something? Or,
I don't know, I didn't.
Yeah, something to do with...
I did read something about a media
company in Holland. They're not taking anybody to Mars. They're not taking anybody to Mars. I think it will be centuries before we even get close enough to have the technologies to go to Mars. That is my opinion. I'd like to know your thoughts on that.
It's like, I forgot what I was going to say.
And the proposition they gave was, once you get there, you're going to build a community and live there. They don't understand that. Like, they've not even got a craft to take them there.
But like this thing of this, you know, what's it called?
With the Jackhead incident.
It's like this Jackhead incident.
Yeah.
It's all secretive. We don't know the truth.
Well, I would think we have made it less secretive.
Well, we have, yes.
Yes.
But the government are trying to keep it a secret.
Yes, by sticking things, trying to stick things over the top of it.
So
but we're peeling them laid back off again.
Yeah. So how can we not know that this Mars thing has been a massive secret and we don't know what's actually going on?
Could this not?
Well, based on a few.
Hey.